In August 2017, a Google engineer named James Damore was fired for a memo he wrote inquiring why there might be fewer women in technology jobs than men. What Damore actually wrote in that memo has been widely misreported. Here are 3 quick examples. Damore's memo has been reported as being anti-diversity, but it simply isn't. The memo explicitly says, "I strongly believe in gender and racial diversity, and I think we should strive for more." Damore then goes on to explain what he thinks are the most effective means of furthering diversity. Reporting the memo as anti-diversity is like 2 people arguing over what the best way to alleviate poverty is. One guy says tax breaks, and the other says more welfare. That doesn't make any of them anti-helping poor people. They just disagree on what the best way of doing that is. Another example. Damore says that as women gain more freedom of choice, the proportion of women who go into traditionally male jobs like engineering and computer science goes down. Several outlets have reported this as Damore's personal musings. However, the fact is well supported by science. In countries where women have almost no choice and families are fighting to ensure a basic standard of living, the proportion of women who go into jobs like engineering is generally higher than in countries where women have free choice and a welfare state to fall back on. As women gain more free choice, and their career choices start mattering less for the standard of living they will have, more women chose jobs that are traditionally feminine, such as nursing or childcare. This is not what one would expect, but it is nevertheless what the science shows. And that's just one of the central things about science. Instead of just musing in an armchair, you go out and study things and get accurate data. That data doesn't always show what one would intuitively expect, but that's why science is superior to other ways of gathering information about the empirical world. It makes us aware of our blind spots. A final example. With regards to the Big Five system of personality, which is the gold standard in science, Damore wrote that women on average have more negative emotions than men, which pertains to a trait called neuroticism. Several media outlets reported this as a shocking quote, and made it seem as if Damore simply made it up on personal prejudice. But in fact, the high neuroticism score of women is a research finding that has been replicated over most of the world. Some feminists have denounced the claim as anti-feminist, but if they thought about it some more, women's higher average neuroticism might actually be a boon to their case. The relevant question is why most women experience more negative emotions than most men. It could perhaps be because they have to take all kinds of annoying and degrading behaviour from men that men do not have to deal with in the same degree. So, if they thought about it some more, maybe the higher neuroticism score is actually a sign that society doesn't treat women very well in certain contexts. But instead of thinking that far, many feminists have simply denounced Damore as a sexist for citing scientific research. The quality of some of the reporting on Damore's memo is so poor that one would have to see it to believe it. For example, the Gizmodo removed all of Damore's graphs, charts, and references to science, and then proceeded to fault him for not basing himself on science. Salon faulted Damore for not wanting to talk to the left-wing media because he was afraid that journalists wouldn't accurately report on what he said. But the very same Salon article that faults him for doing so also reports on the neuroticism issue as if it's something that Damore had made up.